Hey everybody, this is Jackie from Jacqueline Ann Designs. Before we go any further in today's video, I do want to make a disclaimer. There's going to be a chirp in the background. The battery in my fire alarm here in my apartment seems to be dead. Now this apartment complex, I will say one thing, they went way overkill on how many of these fire alarms. Like in this room, just my living room alone, there's 2 of them. If a fire develops here in the living room, the other one's going to go off. So I'm not worried about that. But the chirping is quite irritating. Now, it's kind of become background noise for me because just the other day I had another one go out, and they must have put the battery in all of these fire alarms at the same time because they're all going out day by day. But anyway, and they're declining, and my ceiling is so high, I cannot reach them, even up on a tall step ladder. I cannot reach them to replace the batteries. So, and we are going on right now, 6:30, almost 7 in the evening. So I don't think they're coming today to fix it. So, and they've already told me it's not considered an emergency. So, right now we're putting up with the chirping. And I may try to get up there again here in a little while and put the batteries in it myself, but I have to stay safe, and that's a pretty high reach for me even on the step ladder. So I might try it by just putting the step ladder in a little bit different position and see if I can do it then. I have done several videos. One ended up being over 2 hours long, so I decided that I would divide it up into 3 videos for y'all. And somehow accidentally deleted it. And so some of the work I'm about to show you was in that video. So my apologies for that. But I am going to show you how to make some of the tag holders. And then I'll go through what I've done so far in the journal and try to get y'all caught up. And that's what the purpose of this video is, to kind of get us back on track. But I recorded this video already once and looked up, and I never pressed record. So I'm doing great, yeah, with that kind of stuff. Maybe the chirping is driving me more crazy than I thought. But anyway, now, so I'm going to make you one of those tag holders. And there's a lot of different ways. There was recently a challenge on YouTube in one of the channels where they were making these out of vintage checks, which I also did that challenge. And there's some of those in my book, which I'll show you when we get in there. But I don't have any more. Mine were not real vintage checks. They were fake, but I don't have any more of those. So what I am going to do is make some, and they comprise the vintage checks and vellum, and that's what you made them out of. We're going to make ours a little bit differently in that we're going to make them from scraps of some scrapbook paper and also the vellum. So, and so they're going to be bigger than the ones that were made out of the vintage checks. Although vintage checks, if you've ever seen them, they were much larger than modern day checks. So, all right, so I'm going to cut this, I think, about 6 inches using my Tim Holtz guillotine cutter by, let's say, about 4.5 inches. All right, now we'll see if that's perfectly straight. A lot of times, because the paper probably wasn't straight when I started, it may not be perfectly straight, but we can fix that as we go. So now I'm going to leave this here for just a second because we'll probably need it for the vellum. So what I'm going to do now, let me see the measurement. This, because I said I knew it wasn't perfectly straight. It's a little bit over 4.5 inches on that end. And actually it shows that both ends are the same. So so I'm going to fold this down just a little bit. Let's do it right at that line there. And then I don't have my bone folder. That is my preference. But like I say, I'm trying to do things with tools that you guys might have. Now this is simply, even though it's made by scrapbook.com for people that do papers, basically it's a pastry scraper. And you can get those at your dollar store for about $1. This was a gift with purchase, so I would never have bought anything like that. But you can use a credit card to do exactly an old credit card or gift card or something to do what I'm doing. So that's folded down. That's going to be the back of it, believe it or not. Although if it's a floating tag holder, and I'll explain what those are here in a moment. If it's a floating tag holder, it won't be glued anywhere. So you'll actually, both sides will need to be pretty. Now, I don't know if the dictionary paper is big enough. Not really. Let me see what I have here to decorate the bottom, because it's going to show through the vellum. So let's see here. I don't really care for that. These are like some vintage reproduction music papers. I've got several copies of that music, if that fits. And I've already made several of this Hark the Herald Angels Sing, but kind of don't want to really use that. Let's use this lighter colored, let me put this over here, this lighter colored beautiful Christmas Tide music, okay? And I think I want it to show the name of the music, because I won't use this particular one in this journal because I already used one similar to this in the journal, but we'll do it like that. I'm gonna just glue it on and then cut it. Now, if I was putting another piece of heavier scrapbook paper on, I would not use my glue stick, but since this music paper is really light paper, I am gonna use my glue stick. And I'm going to glue that down first before I glue my tab down. There we go. And remember what I've told you in the past, you always have to put several layers of your glue stick down. So see, that's just one layer. And even the glue stick, you can see how it's making the paper arch up. Any moisture at all, and glue, no matter what type you have, even a dry glue stick, has got moisture to it. Okay, cap it. Now let's try to center it. Straight as I can kind of think it is anyway. And you'll see why we need that paper there here in a moment. Now I want to get a baby wipe and wipe off my work surface so that now that I've used that glue stick on it, everything doesn't just stick to it. Oops. All right, I don't know if I got that all off or not. Second, my throat's a little bit, let me take a drink here. My cherry Kool-Aid, whatever. All right, now, so that's pretty much glued down. All right, no, it did not gel the glue off. Now, this is going to be heavier paper down to heavier paper. Both are cardstock. So I really feel like I need to use something a little heavier. I'm going to use my Art Glitter glue here for this. See it? All right, and then we're just gonna clean the top, glue back down, put that back here, and close the flap down. Okay, so I covered the name up, but that's all right. We'll end up with decoration there anyway, so it's not such a big deal. All right, now let's wipe the glue off of my scraper. It becomes a glue city. All right. All right, now what I am going to do now is trim the sides off of here. Normally I wait because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to trim the vellum too, but I cannot see where to glue. I tried this before and I cannot see where to glue the vellum if I do that. So I am going to go ahead and cut. Trim off the excess here. And I find I can do this a lot straighter if I've got a long straight surface with big scissors. And I also find I can do it better if I'm trimming like something like this that I'm from the back. It's just easier to get the entire thing off. Save the rest of this music paper for a future project and get rid of the rest. All right, now we need to figure out how much vellum we need. All right, and I would like the vellum to go maybe 1/4 inch up that. So let's measure. So about 3.5 inches I need the vellum by 4.5 inches, okay? 4.5 inches by 3.5 inches. All right. Four and a half. Get everything on the same line. Put that in my scrap box by 3.5. All right. Using the measurements here on the cutter. See, it's there at the top and the bottom. All right, so right now we are done with that cutter for a little bit. All right, now the next thing I want to do is decide if I want to tab or not at the top of this, and I think I do. So I'm going to show you how I cut tabs, and you can use whatever size of one of these things, circle punches that you want. And we're not, so it's designed to cut a circle out of another piece of paper. But what they do wonderfully is, and you don't have to buy a separate punch this way, is they cut these tabs down in here. And you don't go down the entire way. I think you might be able to see where I'm at. You just kind of, I just usually estimate where the center is. And by the way, there's certain types of collage work and stuff that these end up working great in, but I am in the process of moving out, so I'm not saving those any more little bitty scraps for the moment. Now, I'm not going to ink all the way around this yet because I will be applying moisture, and that will just kind of cause the ink to bleed. But I am going to go ahead and ink the very top here because I'm not going to be putting any more glue or anything there, and it's hard to get to once it's glued down. See, I love this vellum because the transparent nature of it, it depends on the weight of the vellum you get, whether it's transparent and the color of it, but it affords all kinds of creative possibilities. Okay, so now you can kind of see what's going on there. I'm trying to decide about that, if I want that to have a little bit of ink on it or not. I think I'm going to leave it. I think I'm going to leave that for now. All right. Now, glues of just about every type make your vellum curl and wrinkle up. I mean, and it can make it look terrible. A lot of people decide to use a glue stick. Once again, I've told you that this is my favorite glue stick. It's everybody. There are others that have the Uhu glue. Then there's others. There's this particular that I've showed you in other videos, photo glue sticks. And I've had those in my other videos, and there's nothing wrong with them. This is just the one that I have chosen to be my favorite, that I have found worked the best for me. But I have tried those others, and there's nothing wrong with them. This is just my favorite. But from the website, and they also have a YouTube channel, and they have a Facebook page. They're called Scrapbooking with Me. From her, I learned about this Bearly Arts glue. Now this Bearly Arts glue is very similar to the Art Glitter glue, only to me it's got a thinner consistency, but they say it has less water in it. And that's why it works better for vellum. It doesn't cause nearly the wrinkling and rippling that all these other glues, even the glue stick, will cause. If you get enough glue down with the glue stick that's going to hold it there well for you, say a year up the road, it doesn't just pop off. But there's a lot of people that have had good luck with their glue sticks and the vellum, but I haven't. And I agree with Eve from scrapbookingwithme.com that this seems to be the best one. But I will tell you, if you get too much of it, and I mean, you need to have a micro line of this stuff there, or it's going to wrinkle just like all the rest of them are. And I'll show you an example of that here once we get in. You know, if I use any of those in my journals, I'm not going to go dig them out now because I'd have to leave the camera. But it has this precision tip on it, but it comes out, even though it supposedly has less water in it than the Art Glitter glue, it just, for me, and it's very affected by the weather, so it could be the weather that we've been having, but it'll just run right out, even with that tiny tip on there. See, it's got it came with a precision tip. I don't know if you can see it there or not, which I really like. But so what I need, this is what I'm going to use, and then I'll kind of tell you the things you need to do with it as you go to keep it from wrinkling up, even though you're using the tiny amount. So let me figure out where I want to start my glue, and it's right there at that line of that musical bar. So, and I mean, the line is going to be so tiny you may not even be able to see the line of glue on the camera. I don't know. But it's going to just be, I mean, really tiny. And it does say on the bottle that this glue holds better with really much less amounts than you would think. To use much less glue and you'll have a better hold with it. And I believe them because of just what I've discovered. I put some glue, did some pockets on some vellum the other day, not realizing that it was just going to run out on me. And the glue just ran out, and I didn't want to throw the thing away. I'd found another use for it is what I did, but I find when I'm putting fronts on these pockets to if I can, you're not always in a situation where you can, to put the glue down on the back of the pocket so that it'll cause you to do less moving, especially when it comes to gluing down this I always have this here because this glue gets on there, then it's going to cause your stuff to wrinkle. So wipe your excess out from it. Don't. Okay, now you're not through with this. You need to have something. What I like to use my bone folder for it, but like I said, I'm trying to use things that don't use, you know, that I know you guys would have. Now, let me put this pin back in there to keep it from, oh man, it's already tried to block up. Yeah, that was fast. There's people complaining in some of the Amazon reviews talking about how slow this glue dries. And I'm like, I really haven't found that to be the case at all. But you gotta burnish, okay? You gotta burnish the edge of whatever you're gluing when you're using vellum. And even to me, I have found it to still be true with the Bearly Arts glue, okay? Okay, so that's the pockets that we made in the other video. We made the ones with the checks just like that, popping over the edge. If you needed to decorate that underneath the vellum so that you didn't have anything ugly appearing there, or if it was stark white, you do that. And then we put a vellum pocket on the front of them. Okay, so that's basically what the other video that the main thing that we made in the other video, only I just made lots of them because I wanted to make pockets ahead of time as well. So, because I'm making multiple Christmas journals. I'm making some for my shop, some as gifts for people. So, anyway, so that's what we made in the other video. And I think you can, so now I want to kind of give you an update as to what I have done in the video, some other things that I did in some of the video issues I've had lately that aren't going to get shown, and go from there. One thing that I did was I decided to take advantage of the wire that's in the side of this ribbon tie that's already glued down, and maybe I won't take it out, maybe I'll still try to get it out, but I love things to be wrinkled, and so I wrinkled this up. And I don't know, I'm still going to have to cut off of it. We'll see once I get done and I see how big the bow is and everything that I need according to how wide open my journal ends up being. Because you can see that I'm nowhere near done and how big it already is. And this is with me pressing it closed. If it's not being pressed, there's about where it sits. And that's because of all the edging that I did on the pages. So, now, I don't know if you can see, I did some work here on the inside front cover, okay? And basically, this was another tag holder that I decided to just turn into a decoration. I didn't put a tag in it. And then I found this beautiful artwork of this angel chorus. And see, it's got the Bethlehem star up here. So it's like they're the angel chorus on the night of the Nativity, singing good tidings to all, you know, and announcing the birth of Christ. And this song, even though I've never seen this song, A Beautiful Christmas, before, but it just all seemed to go together. And then I felt like it needed some gold. Now, I was thinking about still putting some words in here, but on the other hand, I kind of like it the way it is. So this is my inside front cover. I'm probably going to find some wide lace and just put a pocket here once I find what I think is going to look pretty, or I may just leave it that way. I don't know yet. Now, this is one of the other ones that I made during that video session. It's using the same technique as the one you just saw me make. You can see that's got the vellum pocket, and this is one of the ones with the digital files of the old vintage checks. Now, technically, I could have ended up with 3 pockets with this, but I decided to put it on this page, and I want to do some artwork up here with some stamping and painting. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we didn't want a tag in there that was high enough it was going to cover that up. So I ended up just leaving it with this pocket, and I'm going to make some sort of tag that will go into that pocket, okay? And it's going to be Santa Claus focused, this one. And then I'm going to have Santa welcoming us to the world, say welcoming in the Christmas season. So with the kind of the Here Comes Santa Claus theme, and I'm going to do some sort of artwork, and where I actually do some picture painting and get that for this page, and you'll see that once I get there. And then I have to, because I put glue on this side, I have to do something similar to that page as well. And I've already decided it's going to just be a tag, and this is going to end up being the pocket for it. It's just that I used a lot of these stickles to kind of decorate it. It was a piece of decoupage that really turned out awful, and I decided to try and rescue it, so I used stickles and then another brand of art glitter glue that I don't like as well as the stickles to do the gold bow. And then, which you can't really tell on the camera. I gotta figure out exactly where the camera makes everything show up for you guys, but it's hard to do this when you're above the camera and the camera's facing down. But anyway, and then I put on this lace that I just glued that to the bottom with my Fabri-Tac glue. And you guys watched me. I did a video for the Facebook group when I did this decoupage. And some of them, for some reason, turned out with this gluey white coating on it that looks like the glue didn't dry. And that was almost 3 weeks ago I did that. So definitely a problem that I can't figure out what it was unless my decoupage is getting too old. My decoupage glue, if that's what it is. But anyway, I haven't made the tag that's going to go there yet. But you can see the focus on this section is going to be the red colors and music. And there's musical notes in the back here. And then this page is musical notes. So whatever I put here, I want it to kind of go along with that color scheme and also with the musical theme. So, but this is not dry yet. I just did that earlier. So I'm going to put that aside. I can't glue it in there. I now have not decided. This is going to be my own personal journal. So I can do it any number of different ways. I don't need to worry about how much writing space for another person. It's however I want to do it. And I do need some writing space, but I'm enjoying making the ephemera. So more than likely, this one's going to have a lot of ephemera. Love the way that ruffle turned out on that page. Like I say, I think that's another thing that's really, plus it's starting to get a little dim, the light. So that's another thing that's not going to show up really well for you guys. Now, you're going to see, and I'm going to show it to you, there's a fair amount of pre-made ephemera in here. And I don't really care for pre-made ephemera. I do use it probably in most every journal, but because I'm not a drawing type artist. But I always try to make it in some way my own. Now, I didn't do anything to this. This is just a vintage reproduction postcard that they put, the artist that created this digital file put this vintage picture, this little girl on top of. So I just turned it into a pocket and glued with my art glitter glue all around 3 sides of it and left this open to make a pocket at the top. And then this was some of the pre-made ephemera from another kit. And I'm sorry, I bought all of this before I started realizing that I really needed to know who the artists were that I bought it from. But this is a Victorian age, you know, vintage era Santa. And I just took some of my the same Stickles glitter glue, and I painted on his coat, the Christmas tree that he's carrying, his bag that he's got over his shoulder, and then he has another bag down here. I aged it, and I put this scrap as my tag pull up here. Put another scrap down here that I glued down, and then I glued the words ho 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 down here. And it doesn't come across how vivid and pretty it is, I don't think, on the video. But he's really glittery and he's really pretty, and I like him. I haven't decided if I'm going to do any stamping or anything there or leave that page plain. But that's that. And then you guys may have seen on the other video, I had mentioned I was going to turn the side of this paper bag, this is the other end of a paper bag that you'll see later in this same signature, into a tuck. And that's what a tuck is. It's a place to tuck small ephemera, okay? And you can see here, this is an example of how the Bearly Arts glue does not wrinkle the page. But I am, because I glued here and you can see it. I'm going to have to do something to the back of this. I haven't decided what yet. But, so this is the tuck that I made. And in the tuck, I just put some journaling cards. And what journaling cards are, they're little cards designed for you to do writing of little secrets, little hidden, sometimes they're even hidden, you can't see them. Now mine are all in plain sight, but, and this one says, it's Christmas with Santa and the reindeer. And it's an antique reproduction. It's where someone bought antiques, probably at an antique store or on eBay or something, and then made digital files out of them. But it says, try Artie Moore's mincemeat and genuine English plum pudding. And so that goes in there. And then this is a similar type of a deal. And it just says Christmas chimes. And I like to put that in there like that. And then this is one of the things I made from our master board, the one that I put the gessoed snowflakes on. And it was just a little scrap that where I had cut other things. And so I decided to make a small journaling card. It's got a piece of gold doily and these little Tim Holtz paper dolls on it. And then this was a fabric scrap. And it just says, Merry Christmas, my dear, like the reindeer, D-E-E-R. And then just 4 little gold dots, kind of designed to look like little brads on there. Like I say, I cannot wait to get better lighting so you guys can see the color of things better, because it's such a big deal in junk journals. You can see there's still a lot of pages in here I haven't decided what to do with. This page I made something called a belly band. And really basically all I did was I have these tickets. I've got them in different sizes. So this is kind of the medium ones that I've got that for Christmas anyway. And they're little vintage pictures that the person that created the digital file that I bought that was full of Christmas stuff. That's where I got all of this. Made a ticket strips out of them. And so I just fussy cut them out. And then I put my vintage photo ink and inked the sides of them. And you guys probably remember the video where I showed you where I had made these. This is a journaling card that's made on recycled mailer. If you read it closely, you can see there's a commercial in there. And I still need to trim it. I have a Decler cutter, which I'll show you in the future. I don't want to leave the video to go get it. But I've decided this is going to be those boys' home. There's some glitter used in here, green and red. And then there's snowflakes. And it says, "Let your heart be light." And they're going to live there. And here in the center, I'm going to do some photo or picture painting, and I'm going to show you that in a video. And somehow it's going to be a nativity and the 3 wise men. I don't know if the nativity is going to be on one page and the 3 wise men kind of like a separate illustration on this page, or if I'm going to be able to do the whole entire scene and just spread it out between the page. The second choice is what I would like. I just haven't exactly found the stuff to do that yet. I'm also going to be picking some areas in here to do some stenciling on. So there's a lot of work still to go. Now these are the bags, the paper bags. I've got paper bags in the other signature as well. It's just a brown one. And I'm going to see which one holds them the best. But one paper bag setup is going to be for photos, and one paper bag setup is going to be for recipe cards. I think just based on the size, this is going to be the one recipe cards where I'll put recipes of food and that we really enjoyed at the family gatherings this year, and I will put them on recipe cards and put them in my journal to remember for future years. Like I say, all of this vintage paper, this is very frail, and if I don't do something with it, it will tear. And so I need to strengthen it by doing something with it. I haven't decided yet. And this is another piece of music paper. And I think, so anyway, so there's still work to do in the first signature. Now I'm going to show you what all I've done in the second signature. A lot of blank pages, a lot not yet done. And here's the other paper bag, and you'll see that it's about the same size, the other half of the paper bag that's going to show up later in the signature. Now, this page, I've already decided what I'm going to do. I just haven't started on it. It's going to be related to Christmas candy cane, peppermint candy. I love peppermint. I mean, so much I could be addicted to peppermint. So that's what I'm going to do on this page, is somehow focus on candy canes. Now this page is done. I think I may need to do some trimming of this sari silk here, but that's about it. And this will be the last of these pre-made tags from the pre-made ephemera that I use. But anyway, this is envelopes that I made in some of the lost videos that I was telling you about. Some tag holders. And this one is made from Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And I actually sang in that video. Didn't set out to sing, but I was just enjoying the thought of Christmas, and I started singing Christmas carols, which now, for some reason, I'm not in the mood to sing anything. But and then I've got this dictionary thing here. that it's the dictionary term for what rejoice means. Verb, feel or show great joy or delight. And then down here it just says good tidings, a Savior is born. And then I have these two angel tags, and like I said, they were pre-made ephemera, but I can't draw angels like that. And I just decided to use them as they are. And it says holly berry, and I did my own paint work over that word with kind of some two-toned liquid pearls, and I did the berries with some red liquid pearls. Sorry guys, I was holding out of the camera view. With red liquid pearls, and then she's got a lot of glitter on her and her little crown, and also her part of her gown here. I did some liquid pearls on it. Turned out quite pretty. And then this one here, it's just a little girl, and I just simply kind of did some liquid pearls of various different colors. I just followed the same color tones that were already in the angel wings there. And same with her clothing. I did some liquid pearls on her clothing and on her hat, and I followed the same color tones in her hat. Then I took some scrap fabric and raveled the edges of it, and then put the words joy and peace on her. So that's the center part here. And then on this other side, you guys may remember this particular tag holder because I showed it to you in one of the other videos, so I'm not going to go over that again. But it also has a dictionary. As a matter of fact, the backing on here on this collage masterboard, just incidentally, happened to have a dictionary, vintage dictionary paper on it, so that was pretty cool. But it's the dictionary thing about an angel, and then this little girl, the only thing I really did was try to make her wings show up a little bit more. Like I say, the light's getting so bad in here. My apologies. We're almost done with the video. The sun's starting down, and I really rely on the sun a lot in here. And I just went and highlighted her wings. And so she goes here, and I like for the top I love it when the tops, the tags, especially when they're made from fabric scraps, or in this case, selvage. And Ralph Emerson, anyway, poet, can't remember, I'm having a thing here, moment. It's got a little saying on it, something that what the fabric manufacturers do to the selvage, because most people just cut it off and throw it away, but I like to use it in my things. And then I just also used the liquid pearls here on her wings and on the pine bow that she's carrying, and on her gown down here as well. Same colors that she's wearing. I just used it to highlight it and make it my own a little bit. And then we're almost done. The other paper bag. I really don't have anything else complete other than this, and I want to kind of explain to you what I'm planning on doing for this spread here. Now, if you remember the very front of it, the book, I'm putting in there, Santa Claus is coming to town. And here I want to focus on Santa's leaving, Christmas is over, we'll see you next year. So, there's the saying, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Well, here I took one of the envelopes that I made in one of the lost videos, one of the tag holders, excuse me, and I put one of the poinsettias that we die cut in another video, and I decorated it up with some glitter and different things like that. And then on the envelope, I put the word to all. And then you can see on the tag, that's also, like I say, very poorly seen in this light. It's really getting dark as we're talking. Decorated the poinsettias that are in here with liquid pearls again, and the glitter, and then the word Merry Christmas. So when you stick it in here, it says Merry Christmas to all. So over here on this blank page, I'm planning on having a Santa who's taken off in his sleigh with the word, so it'll go Merry Christmas to all, and then over here it'll say, and to all a good night. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And then Santa going off in his sleigh, or something like that. Okay, and then I haven't decided what I'm going to be doing to my inside back cover or anything, if at all, to this cover. So that's where we're at, and that's what I've been working on, either during the lost videos, because that, like I said, that video would have ended up actually being 3 videos. And I just did it all at once, and that's gone. So that's where we are so far in the Christmas journal that we've been working on. I hope you guys are doing a project of some sort, whether it's journaling. What are you doing to keep your mind active and in the world of arts and crafts for Christmas this year? Are you journaling? Are you quilting things? Are you making tree decorations? What is it that you're doing this year? Be sure to share it down there with us, especially if you're doing paper crafts. Post some pictures. Okay, guys? Let me know that you're out there. I can't tell if anybody's watching. And I promise this lighting situation, once I'm out of this apartment, I've got a solution that I'm about to order. I just am having a lot of light problems here in this apartment right now. Love you guys, and I'll see you next video.